What's going on YouTube? Today I wanted to make a video about the iPhone 13 and more specifically about the iPhone 13 Face ID issue. So for those of you not in the loop, if you replace the screen on an iPhone 13, whether or not it's from a genuine screen, like if you take two iPhones and you just swap the screens, you lose Face ID. Turns out that the Face ID somehow is tied to a tiny chip on the screen itself, the original screen. And if you don't transfer that chip using micro soldering, using a soldering gun and taking that tiny chip and transferring it over to the new screen, you lose Face ID. For those of you that don't know, Face ID is what the phone uses to unlock the phone without a passcode. So you just simply look at your phone and it unlocks. This is a huge blow to right to repair for third-party shops and for the consumer. This means you can't replace the screen on your iPhone if you break it. And we can't replace the screen on your iPhone if you break it. Only Apple and Apple authorized providers can replace the screen on your iPhone. This is unacceptable. This is what the industry has been worrying about for so long, that Apple is finally going to make a phone that you can't repair. I've discussed this with a few repair shops, and I keep seeing the same argument from a few of them that says, you have to evolve with the industry. The industry is changing, and you're going to have to evolve. You're going to have to learn micro soldering in order to keep up and to stay in business. Now, I certainly agree that we need to learn micro soldering, that every shop should have somebody that micro solders in there. It's an invaluable skill, and it definitely proves handy when you're doing repairs, especially now when components are becoming smaller and smaller and data recovery is a huge lucrative business. However, there will be no industry if this shit keeps up. Unless the US passes some form of right to repair, these companies will destroy our industry. There will be no evolution. We're going to evolve into extinction because that's what these companies like Apple want. The real solution is to stop bending over and accepting it, and to make our representatives pass a law forcing them to stop this shit and give us the right to repair. Everybody in the industry knows that the anti-right to repair organization's main argument that it's all about security and safety is bullshit. And Google has recently proved with their Pixel 6 fingerprint reader that manufacturers don't need to sacrifice security for repairability. For those of you out of the loop, on the Google Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro, if you replace the fingerprint reader, Google has provided the software to repair the fingerprint reader, to re-serialize it. So if you replace the fingerprint reader, you can repair it and it'll continue working as it should. If Google can do this, why can't Apple? It proves that this whole security and safety thing is just a farce. It's invalid. The argument is bullshit. It's cameras, fingerprint readers, and screens now, but make no mistake, they'll start serializing board components too. So for everybody that says, oh, you just need to learn micro soldering, what are you going to do when they tell TI, Texas Instruments, not to sell us replacement ICs for the iPhone, just like they do with the MacBook Pro? We're not like TV repairmen, where technology advancements made them extinct. People will always break their phones and need them repaired. But Apple is getting closer and closer to checkmating us into making an unrepairable phone. And I hear this other argument a lot, that we'll just wait for the Chinese to bypass it. The Chinese will always find a way to hack it. How about Touch ID? They never hacked that. It's been 8 fucking years, and they still haven't figured that one out. What makes you think that they'll figure this out? We shouldn't have to rely on the Chinese to bypass something when it's our livelihoods. This is our industry, and we have to rely on some shady fucking repair or bypass in order to make a living? It's bullshit. And I understand that shop owners are so overwhelmed that they think reaching out to their representative and getting a right to repair law passed is just astronomical task. It's not possible. And I just want to stress the fact that I wrote an email to my representative while I was taking a shit. It took me 10 minutes to just send them an email saying, hey, do you have time for a meeting so you can hear me out about this right to repair bill? And that's all it took. I got a meeting with them and I got an interview with them. I was able to sit them down and I was able to educate them on what problems affect our industry and why this bill, I'm in Massachusetts, can solve my problems. If you're in a state that doesn't have a bill, reach out to your representative and tell them you want to make a bill. That is the solution. The solution is not learning microsoldering or relying on the Chinese. The solution is passing a fucking right to repair bill to force these companies to stop with this bullshit and let them know you own your device. You paid for your device, so you should be able to repair your device. And that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I'm sorry if this video was a little harsh. I'm fucking pissed. I'm so sick of this shit happening, and I'm sick of wondering if I'm going to even have a business in 2 years because of the shit that Apple's pulling. And Apple's not alone. I do not want to make it like, oh, just stop buying Apple products. Samsung's doing the same shit. So these companies have proven that they will continue to do the same shit to make sure they're the only ones that can repair their stuff, and to make sure that you will be more encouraged to buy something new than repair your old things. So don't think it's just an Apple problem. It is an industry-wide problem that's affecting all of us. If it doesn't affect you today, it's going to affect you someday when you break your shit and you can't fucking fix it. You break your washing machine and you can't get a part. You break your laptop, you can't get a screen. It's going to affect you someday. And unless we do something to change that, we're all fucked. That's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments.